On today's video, we're going to do a little deer season recap, and we're also going to have a little fun out at the camp.
Yeah, he's leaning into it. He's owning it.
Hey there, outdoor YouTubers. It's Dave Knetter from Knetter's Practical Outdoors. And like I said earlier, we're going to do a little recap of the 2020 deer season. Now, for me, deer season usually starts during the early archery season. And me and my son Nick, we did get out a little bit with the crossbow, just hunting around our house, you know. Seems like you never get out quite as much as you'd like, but we did get out a little bit. We saw a few deer. We saw, several does. We did see a couple of small bucks, that maybe just weren't quite what we were looking for at the time. Let me be clear that I have no issues with anybody that wants to harvest a smaller buck. I've shot plenty of spikes and forks over the years myself. If you can harvest a legal deer, good for you. A doe, a spike horn, or a 10-pointer, if it's a legal deer, good for you. Everybody has different opportunities when it comes to hunting. Everybody has different skill levels when it comes to hunting. So I sincerely hope anybody that's out there that's harvesting a legal deer can be excited about it, be anxious to share the story with friends and family, and not worry about what anybody else thinks. So after just a few times out crossbow hunting, rifle season was upon us. And for the first week of rifle season, me and my sons, my buddy Scott, headed out to the camp. Now, the deer sign leading up to rifle season seemed to be pretty promising. Seems like we had a few decent bucks hanging around. But we also had several of these. There's a fat one right there. Been eating something. And we had a few pictures of those things. And several more of these. And then we even had a picture of one of these. So we had several different predators running around out by the camp. But like I say, we still seem to have handful of decent deer around anyways. Me and my boys had spent some time and we had gotten this real nice deer blind into an area that I like to hunt, and I was really looking forward to all the comforts and roominess that blind had to offer. The only trouble is we just did not see many deer out of that blind. Now, my buddy Scott, he had gotten a real nice 6-pointer just days before rifle season with his crossbow. So he was tagged out, and he wasn't even hunting.
Yeah, like last year, Nick shoots that spike horn with the crossbow. Happy to do it, understanding the consequences.
But whether you harvest a deer or not, deer camp life is always a lot of fun.
I mean, that's the tag we chose. That's the tag we chose. And so I was one of the drivers. I had actually shot a buck that year already. So I'm pushing. Me and a couple other guys are just pushing through the swamp. And I heard 2 gunshots. I was like, holy cow, maybe somebody got something. I get all the way to the end of that swamp and I walk up on just that little bit of railroad grade where he's got 2 bucks laying there. One's an 8-pointer, one's a spike horn. And he shot him with that shotgun with no forearm at like just about point blank range. They just came walking right up to him because they were being pushed, right, by us pushers. Mm-hmm.
So, after 4 or 5 days out at the camp, with no bucks being shot, it was time to head home. And when I got home, I had a buck hanging in my shop. I knew my wife was going to be hunting, and she had a little success while I was gone.
And probably within 10 minutes from then, this guy comes in, and he made things so easy for me. He just came off from the side, wandered in, stopped a few times to sniff, but not for long, and I didn't even really wait for him to get close to the bait pile, and I took my shot.
You went out hunting by yourself. You tracked it, gutted it. I mean, it wasn't much of a track job, but gutted it, drug it back, strung it up. So yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yes, I felt like a child after I shot it. I'm like, what do I do now? I'm used to somebody being...
Sure. So for our family, whenever any one of us gets a deer, that means that we're going to be doing some deer processing. Now, for any of you guys that follow the channel, I think most of you guys know that my dad is the expert deer cutter, and I just kind of help out where I can.
People comment on you slapping the meat down. They like that.
No, I can't get over that. I don't even know I do it until I listen to the video sometimes, and
Yeah,
I know what they're talking about, I guess.
yeah. No, they like that.
Looks like that's what a guy has to do in order to be a meat cutter or something.
Yeah, and then two different people mentioned they compared you like you're like the Bob Ross of meat cutters.
saw that.
That's that artist on PBS.
Yeah, I'm flattered.
The afro.
My oldest daughter Taylor was also coming over and doing a little hunting at some of the blinds we have by our house. Hey Perry.
Yeah.
What did we just hear?
A gunshot?
Yeah. What do you think that meant, that gunshot?
Taylor shooting a deer?
You think so?
Yes.
It could be. We'll see. We'll see. She should be coming to the house pretty soon then. Okay, so what was that gunshot about?
I shot a spike horn.
All right. Is there any tracking going to be involved, or do you
No.
you have a dead deer right
No,
there?
we just need a light to see where he's at. It's gonna be pretty easy.
Well, I mean, did it go down right there?
Not right in the bait pile. It went off to the right just a little
Yeah,
bit.
but it's right there. Okay.
Yep, he's not kicking or anything. He's definitely dead.
Okay. All right. There's your shell.
I was making
Okay.
a deer rack on your head.
Oh.
All right. Well, let's. Me and Mom will suit up and.
Okay, let
We'll
me
go
use the bathroom first. He took forever to be broadside. I was just like waiting, like, come on, man, I got stuff I gotta do. Oh.
All right. Okay. Yeah, we got time. So I, of course, was really happy for her. It had been like 13 years since she had even deer hunted. The last time she did hunt, she did get a nice little buck during Michigan's youth hunt. So then, of course, it's time for more deer processing.
Rack bucks that I've got pictures of over here, you know. And they're just
Then it was back out to the camp for the second week.
shot 'em. Yeah.
You know, because
We haven't even heard any shots.
No,
It's bizarre.
and it's really it's only us and them hunting out here. You know what I mean?
It's true.
Over here, this guy ain't hunting. The 80 next to us for sale. Nobody's hunting on that. You can tell they haven't even been down the road. Nobody's been down the road.
And not much had changed that second week. We saw very few deer.
Yeah, our buddy Al that has hunted out here with us for many years. He didn't make it out this year. You know, life schedules, work schedules. You know, sometimes they get in the way of things, and he's not out here this year. Which we're sad, Al, that you didn't make it out. But anyways, this happens to be the 10th anniversary of an event that took place that involved our buddy Al, what we like to call the Crawlers and Eggs event.
And so I go out to hunt that morning. I take my four-wheeler down the road. I pass the moat where the beaver deceiver is. And I don't see Al's truck anywhere. I'll bet you I was sitting there 20 minutes or half an hour before, after sunup, and there's a 6-pointer. So I shot him, dropped him there. So I drove back up and I hooked up that buck, and I drug that buck back, and as I was coming in the road, Al could hear it coming. He comes walking out the door. I'm like, whoa. I asked him, where's your blazer? He said, well, give me a hand with this buck. So we hung the buck up on the buck pole, and we got that up there. And I said, well, let's go see if we can find your vehicle, So we jump in my truck and we head out to the main road, and a right to go south. And we get to the end of the road. Well, this road, instead of splitting into a Y and going into our camp, it just dead ends. And there's this blazer piled into the tag elder swamp. And right next to it is a sign up on a tree with a big red arrow pointing to the right. And the sign just says Crawlers and Eggs. I just looked at it and went, wow. Hooked the winch up to it on the tow truck and pulled her right out.
Yeah.
So that was good. So,
and there was some issues.
yeah,
with the blazer.
The blazer was in fantastic shape under the circumstances. There was one flat tire. He had one spare, so we changed that, and and then as we were pulling it out, the plastic ends to the bumpers had all gotten kind of smushed in, and they were rubbing on the tires and kind of binding things up. So I had my little trail trimming saw and unfolded that, went over and I just hacked them right off, threw them off, and then we drove back.
Yeah, so my scenario was I went out hunting. I hunted probably till 11 o'clock. I come back to the camp. Nobody's here. There's a 6-pointer on the buck pole, and I don't know what's going on. And then Scott's truck pulls in, and I'm like, what's going on? And you were just laughing. You're like, Scott's like, yeah, I went in the ditch. It's not even on our road. He's like, he was on the road before our road. And then Scott holds up his camera. He's like, and I got the pictures to prove it and stuff. So he took those pictures. So anyways, yeah, guys, be careful on roads during deer season. They get slick. So that's the story behind the Crawlers and Eggs pictures in the camp photo album, guys. Yeah, there was a 6-pointer that was hanging on the buck pole 10 years ago. Well, and I was wondering where everybody was. And not much had changed that second week. We saw very few deer. So that's kind of how rifle season ended. But then me and my son Nick, we were going out with the muzzle loader and still doing a little hunting by the house. Again, we did see a few small bucks, just nothing that we wanted to shoot. All right, guys. Well, there's the rundown on the 2020 Michigan deer season for kind of me and my crew. My buddy Scott got himself a nice buck during the archery season. My wife and daughter each got bucks during the rifle season. So no complaints from me. I had a great time at the camp. I had a great time at the house, helping out with the deer that my wife and daughter got. Me and my son Nick still might do a little late season archery hunting. Just kind of have to see how it goes. But hey, guys, remember to hunt, fish, laugh, repeat. This is Dave Knetter from Knetter's Practical Outdoors. Hey, thanks for watching and God bless.